What's going on, everybody? It's Kyo Vinek, and we're gonna get into the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra. I got the purple color option. I want it to be different, but honestly, this color combination with the titanium sides, it ain't really doing it for me. So just to put in some perspective, my last Galaxy was the S8, and before that was the Note 3. And during my usage with the S24 Ultra, I gotta say, I'm really impressed with the experience that this phone has to offer. Starting off with the design, we have a titanium frame and a glass back. The sides are slightly curved and the display is now flat. We still have a SIM tray, which is nice to have. I love how the Ultra stands out even from the lower end S24s. This is a more boxier design. Even the actual display is boxed in with sharp corners, as opposed to a lot of the other phones with rounded corners. This makes the screen feel more immersive. We pack in a 6.8-inch display. It's an LTPO AMOLED with a refresh rate of up to 120 Hz, a resolution of 1440 by 3120 pixels, and a PPI density of 505. And to top it off, it's also anti-reflective. So that's really effective when you're outdoors and the sun beaming, or if you're indoors and you have ceiling lights. Also, we got a peak brightness of 2600 nits, and as a result, this has to be the best display I laid eyes on. Colors pop, is nice and saturated. This gives off a beautiful viewing experience while you're watching movies and playing games. The overall build on this phone feels like it was carefully designed. It weighs at 8.18 ounces. In comparison, the 15 Pro Max weighs at 7.8 ounces. It's rated IP68 dust water resistant, which is 1.5 meters for up to 30 minutes. It has stereo speakers and it's equipped with that S Pen. Now when it comes to the S Pen, I'm almost never using it, but that's not to say that's a feature that they should remove, because when I actually use it, it opens the door for more productivity. And I feel like that feature is what makes it more special compared to the competition. And it's not just about taking notes, it's equipped with Bluetooth and different sensors, so that gives users more flexibility on different ways to use the S Pen. So all the S24s, it released with the Android 14, with the Samsung One UI 6.1. It's packing Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Generation 3, paired with the Adreno 750, and they hit you with the 12 gigabytes of RAM. And with everything all mixed together, we got a responsive, buttery smooth phone. The only bug that I came across so far was kind of minor. After having the Messenger app open for a little while, anything that I would tap on would not register. I would just simply refresh the app and get back into it, and I'm pretty sure an update for the app would simply fix that. But other than that, everything runs smooth. Even loading heavy apps like intense games, it doesn't have an issue. And the RAM management is pretty good when I'm switching between different apps. And you can't talk about a Galaxy without mentioning the multitasking features. So it's nothing new, but we have that split window view, and on top of that, we're able to have up to 5 pop-up windows, and you can easily minimize them and compress them all in one. So realistically speaking, when it comes to multitasking, I don't think a lot of people are gonna have more than 3 apps open at a time. So I tried to push it to its limit. It didn't lag, but it did refresh an app after having split windows and 3 pop-up apps that were open. This kind of multitasking is not a common use, but it shows the potential of this phone. So now on to the cameras. We got a 200 megapixel wide camera, 50 megapixel telephoto, 10 megapixel telephoto, and then a 12 megapixel ultra wide. So the main difference in this camera compared to the S23 Ultra, we reduced the optical zoom to 5x from 10x, but with that lens we have an updated 50 megapixel from a 10 megapixel. So overall, that gives us a sharper image. So photos come out nice and contrasty, well saturated. I do feel like it lets in a little bit too much light, so the exposure could be a little too high for me. But in most situations, this is an all-around great camera. Whether you're outdoors or indoors, this camera is still able to pick up the details. And on the front, we got a 12 megapixel wide camera. I don't always use this, but I think it's okay. And underneath the display, we have an ultrasonic fingerprint sensor. Now onto the battery, we have a 5000 milliampere hour. So on average, I get about 5 to 6 hours of usage. And I would say I would end the day at about 50% of battery life. And I'm not gonna lie, there are some days where I reduce the resolution to 720p to save battery life. With days like that, I normally reduce the resolution when I know I'm gonna be out using a GPS, not really consuming any media, and just getting things done. But if I were to estimate the battery life under 1440p, I would say it would give me about 3 to 4 hours of usage, depending on what I'm doing. With that being said, I would give the battery performance an A minus. And the majority of it is because they give us flexibility on what resolution we could use. So with the USB-C cable, this phone is able to charge up to 45 watts, and that'll deliver 65% in 30 minutes. Now when it comes to wireless, it'll charge up to 15 watts. And this phone is equipped with reverse wireless charging. So this phone was heavily advertised for the AI feature. You can translate phone calls, generate summaries on different pages, and removing or rearranging objects in certain photos. And this gives users another reason to use the S Pen. I like how Samsung packs all of those features within the settings, so you can easily access them and learn more information about them. Overall, this is a great all-around smartphone. From the customizations to the multitasking to the AI features, I feel like there's always something new to discover. And then switching to the iPhone is almost like a bland experience. And to top it off, this phone guarantees 7 years of updates. So I would easily recommend this phone who's into productivity and being able to customize your phone the way you want it. But let me know what you guys think. As always, comment down below and let me know what you think about the video. And make sure you're subscribed for the latest. Later!